Okay, guys, here's part 11, and we are kind of ready to go here to pose him, well, tilt him over to match the poster, and cut the pins out that are going to support him, and finish up the base, and then we're done. So let's get going. Now, he's standing straight up, right? This is what the poster looked like. So let me just try to straighten out the poster first of all. That's what the poster would look like on your door. So he's leaning, you can see he's considerably leaning over to his left a little bit, right? So I want to try to match the sculpture to that. So let's merge the parts together. Let me show you what I did off screen. Here is the torso. I want to turn the colors off so we can see it better. So there's the torso, and I scribed in, I booleaned out those wings, the web wings, and I enlarged that tube that runs along the inside of the arms here. I enlarged that by 4 times, and so that channel should fit nicely with these webs. I don't know if you could see that. Let me try to zoom in. There is a tiny gap there. You see that little gap? So the tubes, the webs should kind of snap right in there. And with a little crazy glue, they should kind of fit nicely right in that little slot with no, large key. They're just going to snap right in there. I hope that's the plan anyway. So anyway, that's that. And we just need to put a nice big chunky key in between the torso and the legs right there. So let's do that first. Let's append a cube. Let me turn the base off for the time being. Let's append a cube and select the cube. There we go. Now I like to make my key a little rounded, the edge is a little rounded. And so let's divide this a couple of times. Divide, divide, divide. And let's do it again. Let's do it one more time so it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to actually Dynamesh it up a little bit. It's 500. I want to try to keep it around there. Dynamesh. Oh, 2 million. Okay, let's leave it. 2 million. It's only one key, so I deleted all my other folders, all my extra folders with all those parts. I saved it. I saved the file, so I have all those parts. But the size of my whole file was about 80 million, so I deleted all those extra folders, and I'm down to 26 million now, which is much more manageable, and my machine is running much smoother. So anyway, let's go back to the key. Let's go to Deformation Palette, go to Taper, Deformation, Taper, and we want to select the Y-axis and get rid of the X and the Z-axis, and just use this slider to kind of taper that into a key shape. Okay, now I'm going to put the key, the male key, on the torso. So let me hide the legs. Let me shrink down the key, rotate it around, Shrink it down some more. Maybe elongate it a little bit. And push it up into the center of the waist. Like so. Let's see now. It's kind of a tricky angle. Let's kind of match this angle here. That looks okay. Let's see. I'm going to elongate it a little bit more. Let's see now. Let's see what that looks like. It looks good on the torso. Let's see what it looks like on the legs. It's going right into the middle, which is pretty good. Let's rotate it straighter. And let's make it a Boolean preview. See how deep down it's going. Yeah, that's in there. Let's turn on transparency and see how deep it goes into the legs. Yeah, it's going deep enough, I think. We could even make it a little longer. Just to get some support, some added support. Yeah, that's pretty deep in there. Let's see what it looks like again with the torso. Whoops. That's a little bit long. I don't know. That might work. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it that long because he's leaning over and I want that extra support. So, let's see. We want to punch it out of the legs. Let's rename this key. We only have one key. Key times 5. Let's try times 5. So I'm going to inflate that key 5 times, or 5 points, 5 increments, whatever it is. So let's go to deformation. Down here near the bottom you have inflate. So let's hit 5 and enter and see what happens to this key. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm going to turn on live Boolean. That's not bad. So let's do it. Let's turn on the colors so we don't lose them. I'm going to make the key this blue color. Okay, there we go. And let's do it. Let's make Boolean mesh. So that just reminds me how much I inflated the key in case I need to redo that. Okay, let's append the new legs right here. There they are down at the bottom. And we can, let's see, we can delete the legs. Let's save our work. See, the last one I saved was Spidey 112, all parts in folders. So we don't need that anymore. Let's save it as 113. Keyed. Or keys. There we go. Now I can delete my old legs. Ooh, you know what? Let me put this key back down first. You see it's inflated. So let me Z back, select the key, and Control Z. There we go. Now I'll delete my left. Well, let me save it. Let me save over that 13 because I want that key the normal size. But I know if I need to inflate it again and punch it out again, I went 5 times. So anyway, now we can delete our old legs, and you should see a gap around that key. Perfect. See that? See that little gap? So that should be slipping right into that key perfectly. Here's my legs, my new legs. Let's rename that legs. Send them up. And my key now needs to go, the deflated key, remember, needs to go attached to the torso. Like that. So now we'll just Boolean these two guys together. Right? Let's put my key right underneath the torso. I lost my color. I'm going to put my color back. Okay, here we go. Ready? Make Boolean mesh. And we're going to get a new torso with a key on it. Let's just wait for that to go across. And we'll be good to go. Again, this is a very large piece, so that's why it's taken so long to get across. All right, but the whole file is only not even 30 million, so it's a good manageable size. It's not slowing my computer down much. Okay. Just about done. Always stops right at the end, right before it finishes. It always kind of pauses. There we go. Okay, now we append. Oh, and now it's going to save. Oh, but this shouldn't take too long because it's a fraction of the size it was. Come on. Okay, here we go. Now append the new torso right there, the last one, and save as 114 keys. Every time I do something major, I save, even though the machine is saving for me. If I turn on my lightbox, you can see how many iterations it's saved so far. Go to quick save. Wow, you see all that? Well, some of that is a football player, and there's a dinosaur, and there's the tick, but it saved me all of these files in case my computer crashed, you know. So, but that also eats up a lot of RAM. So we want to go to Preferences, Quick Save, Delete Quick Save Files. Always yes. Now that'll save me a lot of memory. Okay. Now we can delete that torso, and we can delete the key and rename this one torso. You got legs, you got torso, and now the base. Let's work on the base. First, before we do that, let's pose him. Let's tilt him over just like the poster. So let's turn on our reference, and let's see now. You got 4 parts, this figure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Torso, legs, right web wing, left web wing. So let's merge down so we can move everything at once. Merge down, merge down. I'm going to delete this folder because I don't have many subtools anymore. Delete the folder, delete folder. And I'll delete this folder as well. Delete folder. There we go. I like to keep it as simple as possible. Folders they're good, they organize you, but just kind of complicates it. I like to keep things nice and clean. So anyway, here's our figure, all one piece. The supports, I'm going to have to change those. Let's get the supports out of the way so they're not distracting me. Get the torso, it's the full figure now. Let's put the gizmo right in the center. And just tilt. I was considering tilting him backwards a little bit, but so that maybe this toe might touch, but I don't think so. I like it. I like it up in the air like that, and that's the whole point of these acrylic rods. So anyway, I think that's going to be pretty good. I'm not going to tilt him too much. I think that's going to be good. So let me hide my reference, and now I'm going to go back and get my supports and put those in a inconspicuous spot. If I can, let me hide the base. So you can see where the support rods are going now. Let's move, let me mask off this one, and let's move this one into the calf. I want to put it in a meaty spot. Let me turn on transparency. I want it to go in as deep as possible without punching through, obviously, but you see that it almost goes all the way up into the calf, which is good. Now I'll invert the mask, and I will make this one longer, so that goes really deep into the thigh. But I want to move it over more, into the middle of his thigh. Now, let's see what that looks like. I'm not sure, should I put it in the knee? I'm not really an engineer here. I don't know what would be more, make it support more. This heel is touching the base, so it's like almost a straight line there. That's not helping, but I'm not sure. I definitely don't want to put it in his butt cheek. I want to keep it in his thigh. Let's see, where is it? Okay. Now, these tubes, these supports are going to have to be 1/4 inch thick. So depending on how tall I make the figure, that's going to determine if I need to enlarge these support rods. I think that's going to support it. I think I've got it spread out pretty well. It's going right through the base though. Okay, so let's pull these up a little bit. I'm going to mask that one off and pull this one up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so he's posed. He's supported. Let me save. 115. Posed. Okay, now let's work on the base. The logo, I forgot about the logo. Now I can actually move the logo over to the center more. Let me hide that figure. Let's see if I can get it. I think it's going to be hitting the foot if I put it in the center. Ooh. Not quite. Do I leave it in the center? I think I'm just going to put it back over there. And I've decided to keep it embossed like that, meaning raised and not a scribe line. I'm going to leave it raised like that. Okay? So, all right, let's work on the base now. Everything's in place. So let's work on our base. Now what I like to do, I'm going to delete this reference. Don't need it anymore. What I like to do with the base is to hollow them out. So I'm going to duplicate this base and I'm going to pull it down and I'm just going to go shrink it down just a little bit like that. I want to keep some thickness there. That looks pretty good. Let me see transparency. Yeah, that's gonna work. So I turn on Boolean, something like that, and I hit make Boolean mesh. And that's going to give me my new hollow base. Okay, let's append my hollow base. And we can save as Spidey 116 base. There we go. Okay, and I can eliminate these older two. All right, now I want to write inside the base, I want to write some type. So let's go to Z plugin, 3D print hub, no, it's text 3D and vector shapes. I gotta pick a font. I usually like to use Helvetica LT MM. New text, and I'm going to type in Spider-Man door. No. Spider-Man. That's right. Let's just write Spider-Man for that. And it's coming in that way, which is fine. Let's do it again. New text. Based on the classic door poster from 1965. Oh, I guess I ran out of room. They don't let you. Based on the classic door poster, new text from 1965. New text. Inspired by. It's not really inspired by. It's based on artwork by Steve Ditko. Okay. New text. Sculpted by. New text. Me. Okay, and 2026. Okay, now I just want to put my name on the back. Of the base. All right, now we got to separate all this type here. That goes on the back. From 1965, based on the classic door poster. Whoops. Spider-Man. Actually, we've got a pretty big base. Let's write your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Whoops. All right. Now, let's merge all of this down. Merge down, merge down, merge down, merge down. Merge down. Let me hide that for now. Okay. Let's rotate that around like that. And this is another thing I've learned my lesson to always make this stuff embossed and raised, because it can if you make it scribed in, and the deep crevices, resin has a hard time curing in there. Okay, so I don't have any deep keys. Hang on, let me see the support rods. They're coming out. Yeah, we're gonna need to avoid those, which is easy. Let's mask that off. Move that down. Right there should be okay. Invert the mask and move this up. Let's see. Hang on. Your friendly neighborhood. Split hidden. Whoops. Neighborhood. Split hidden. Okay. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man based on the classic door poster. Okay, let's take based on the split hidden and classic door poster. Split hidden. Okay. Move that up and over. Move that down and over. What's under there? From 1965. Okay, let's get rid of that. Split hidden. Okay. Based on the classic door poster. Sorry about taking so long. This is kind of tedious stuff. From 1965. That pin is right in my way. I guess it could be offset like that. Okay, and now all the bottom stuff can move up a little bit. There we go. All right, let's merge this stuff down again. Oh, Spider-Man is too high. Your friendly neighborhood. How did, oh, it's connected. Hang on, one more. Split hidden. Spider-Man goes under friendly neighborhood. There we go. Merge down, merge down, merge down, merge down, merge down, merge down. All right, now this comes in very thin, so let's make it really thicker, and then we're going to Dynamesh the letters so we can inflate them properly. The topology is very nasty. You see, it's all triangles. So first thing I'm going to do is Dynamesh way up. It's only 13,000, so let's go way up. Dynamesh. Let's see what that gives us. Hopefully a couple of million points. 4 million. Beautiful. And now we can inflate. Let's try inflate by 5 and see what happens. That's good. Little thick, but good. Okay. base. Whoops. Let me select my base. I'm saving. Come on. All right. And I just want that layer. And I'm going to slide this back so that it intersects, not too deep because I don't want it popping out the other side, but I also don't want these letters to be too thick. So let's see what we've got. Group visible. Let's see. Okay, looks good. Is it coming out the top? No. Oh, almost. Almost. It's like right there. Okay, let's just pull that down a little bit. Actually, it's kind of thick, so where are my letters? There they are. Let me just make them a little thinner. Okay, good enough. So now you got your base done. This lettering is supposed to go on the back. So let's try to do the same thing. A little bit thicker. Dynamesh. Come on. Why is it not dynameshing? Doesn't look like it crashed. It's probably going to be way, way too big. What did I put it at? 1,000? It shouldn't be that big. I just guess we're going to just have to wait it out. ZBrush not responding. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like we either wait it out or I can force quit. And I forgot to save. Rats. All right, guys, I'm really sorry. I forgot to save all my work, so I'm going to have to redo all that crap. So sorry about that. I will come back with another video where we, poke the holes in the legs for the support rods and do the measuring for that. And that will be it. That's going to be the last chapter. Oh, it worked. We're back in action. So 12 million is way too much. So I'm going to Z back. I'm going to save my work this time. 117 base. And I will not Dynamesh that high again. It's important to Dynamesh it because I want to inflate these letters. They're too thin. And I have to have decent topology to do that, to inflate. Come on. 12 million is crazy. So if I set it to 1,000 and it turned into 12 million, let's see, 3 million. Okay, that's more reasonable. So now let's just inflate by 5. Inflate by 5. Inflate by 5. Huh. I only had to do it once for all the rest of them. I don't know why I'm having to do it so many times here. Alright, that's good enough. Now, I want to put this on the back of the base. So let's turn it around and rotate it like that. And now we will use our matchmaker brush to kind of weld it to the base here. Let's put it right there. And we're going to make it a little thicker, and we're going to get as close to the base as possible. And then we're going to grab our matchmaker brush, which looks like this. And we're just going to we're going to get a big brush, and we're going to wave it over the surface. Turn down the intensity. And watch what happens. See that? It's kind of bending the letters to match. It didn't do such a good job. So let's try it again. Sometimes it's easy to just kind of pull it if this is not working well. I think my intensity is too low. Turn that up a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of sloppy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab a move brush. See, I don't have symmetry available to me because this base is not in the middle. See that? It's not symmetrical. So I'm just going to have to wing it. But it works. I could just kind of do it by hand. Matchmaker brush is supposed to do that. It's supposed to bend it to whatever's behind it. But I'm not really going to be that finicky about it. Just going to do it by hand, nice and carefully. And that's good enough. Let's see if I could pull in the top a little bit. That would be nice. Getting sloppy, getting a little sloppy. Okay. That's okay. Nobody's gonna look at this anyway. Nobody cares who sculpted it, right? Okay. There we go. Good enough. So now we boolean the type, the signature, and the base, not the support rods. But first, before we do that, I want to make sure that I boolean out that the spot for his heel. Then I'm going to have to size it, and that'll tell me how big the rods are going to be. Okay, so Spider-Man is in 4 parts. If I hit split to parts, hopefully it's going to give me 4 parts: a torso, legs, and the 2 wings. So that's cool colors there on the costume, huh? let's hit split to parts, and hopefully this is going to give me 4 parts if I did things correctly. Sometimes there's little floaty things inside, little artifacts, but this should be 4. Oh yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beauty. All right. So let's call this left web wing. And that is right web wing. Web wing. Right web wing. Say that 3 times fast. And then you got legs. Rename that legs. And there's the torso. Save as Spidey 118. Still working on the base. So I can hide the torso and the 2 webs, and I want to punch that heel out of the base. So let's put the legs below the base. Turn on live Boolean. And just make sure that that little notch there is going to be there. So his heel can touch and just give some added support. We just put a drop of glue in there. So that's about it. Let's do make Boolean mesh. And we'll get a new base with a little notch in it. And we're in the home stretch, guys. I think we're just about ready. I'm thinking he is hunched over and he is crouched over, and I'm thinking maybe 13 inches. I'm going to try for 13 inches, which is going to be bigger than a 1/6 scale. The base is about 1 inch probably. So, but he's hunched over. So if he stood up straight, he'd probably be like 14, 15 inches. I don't know. It would be more like 1/5 scale. So maybe I should try 12 inches total height. Let's try that. And I'll do a test print and see what it looks like. So there's my base. Let's append the base. Okay. Save as 119 base. You know what's funny? My favorite issue is 121, Spider-Man 121 and 122. So it'd be nice to finish up with one of those numbers. But I think I'm going to go higher than that. Anyway, let's eliminate this old base, the solid base. Delete that. Whoops, delete. Put the legs back up here. Supports. Okay, now I think we can merge the whole base together. So let's see what that looks like. There's a logo. Spider-Man. You know what? I'm gonna need some pins. I'm not ready yet. Not ready yet. Let's do the measuring. Yeah. I want to get all the parts in order before I merge all the base parts together. So let's hide all the lettering and the logo. Okay. So what did I say? We were going to try for a total height of 12 inches. So this is how I kind of do it with ZBrush. I'm going to choose the Move Transpose chain. Turn off the gizmo. Let me throw a bounding box around it. So I go to Scale Master, New Bounding Box Subtool. And that's going to throw a box around the entire piece. I'm just renaming as I go. Okay, transparency on. Okay, so that's the total height of the piece. So if I grab my move transpose chain and I drag it the whole length of this box, hopefully you can see that. I want to set that measurement for 12 inches. Okay, so I go to Preferences, Transpose Units, Set Units, Unit Scale 1, Set Units to, let's call it inches, right? And then Calibration Distance. So that chain is already laid out there, so let's set it to 12. All right? So if you look over here in the corner, it says 12 inches. This chain is measuring 12 inches. If I go across this way, it's going to be 12 inches by 8.9 inches wide. So it's almost 9 inches across the base, right? But that's not what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with the height. So if I go there again, that's 12 inches. Boom. Now, that's all I'm concerned with. Now, I need to make these supports 1/4 inch. So that would be 0.25 inches each one. The diameter of each one needs to be 0.25. Measuring just with this chain again and looking up here. So let's see. First of all, I want to cut the tops. Let's split them, split the parts. Let me just cut them so that they're square. They're kind of like rounded edges there. I'm going to just cut them so that they're square. Let's do the same here. I'm using the knife rectangle brush, by the way. And now, hopefully, we're close. That diameter should be close. So I grab my move transpose chain. Is that a perfect circle? It's kind of deceiving. It could be an optical illusion. It looks kind of squished. But anyway, let's drag the chain across, right across the middle of the diameter and see what my measurement is. Now if you look up here, it's 0.36. Too big. So let's scale it down and try again. .3, still too big. Now that's kind of scary because these rods are looking pretty thin. I may have to buy thicker rods and maybe 1/2 inch rods. 0.265. That's gonna work because I want them a little bit bigger. 0.265, and I want 0.25. So that's going to be okay. That one. Oh, that's looking pretty thin. I wonder how tall it would be. It would probably be about 6 inches, 6.5 inches. It looks really thin though. I think I'm going to need the 1/2 inch acrylic rods. What to do? I may have to order those 1/2 inch rods. These look more like what I'm looking for. That would be 0.50 though. And what were these? 0.36? So something in the middle of 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. But I'm anxious. I can always go back and punch the holes thicker. So I'm anxious to print this. So I'm going to go forward. Okay, and duplicate that and put it over there where this one is. And take a chance, you know. I'll print it. I'll print a test print with 1/4 inch holes and see what happens. If it's not wobbling, it's not wobbling. Okay. Oh, I just want to make that smaller. I can delete this big one. Man, that looks really thin. They're pretty strong though, those rods that I bought. So you never know. It might work. Let's see. Let's merge these down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is duplicate them. Inflate them. You see that? And they're going to fit right in there. Let's group visible. See those thin ones inside there? They're going to slip right into these cups. So let me Dynamesh this and smooth them out a little bit. Let me smooth them out. Polish by features. There we go. Crease poly groups, keep groups, see remesher. Just want to make sure the topology is nice and clean. All right, I think this might work. I'm concerned with the webs under the arms, and I'm concerned with these rods being not thick enough to support him. Crease poly groups, keep groups, divide, divide, divide. But I think I'm okay. Believe it or not, I think this is going to work. So here are the support rods. Here are the cups. Okay, I just want to trim the cups. So let's get a trim rectangle and just chop those cups off right near the top of the base. See that? Those are going to be the cups that the little rods sit into. Now, let me save my work. 120 base. And now I want to merge the base, the cups, the logo, the type, and the signature. I want to merge all those parts. Make Boolean mesh, not the supports. The supports, not yet. Okay, so here we go. Make Boolean mesh. Let me just see what I've got here. There's the cups, the logo, that, and that. Group visible. Okay. Go. Make Boolean mesh. All right. That's going to give me my final base. And then the last step is to punch the two support rods out of the base and punch them out of the legs. And then we are finito. And the next time you see me in chapter 12, it will be in the garage, in the shop, with a 3D print of this guy. And I will show you if we succeeded or if we have to order some thicker support rods. And that's about it. So let's just let this run. And what am I up to? 120? I made it to 121. That's the episode where, the comic book where my favorite Gwen Stacy gets thrown off the Brooklyn Bridge by the Green Goblin. Those two comic books were my favorites as a kid, and I got them off the newsstand. That's how old I am. So that's how many files I have. 121 files it took to make this sculpture. Come on. Always stops right there and hesitates. Come on. There we go. Okay, now append the base. Let's just check it and see what we've got. Oh, wait a minute, it's not looking, something's wrong here. It could be just the paint is not liking the topology. That's probably what it is. So if I select that and make it white, I should have Dynamesh this bit. Yeah, okay. It was just the nasty topology. So that's white. Let's make that black. Let's make that white. I really should have Dynameshed first. And let's make that black. Whoops. All right. Very nice. Keep it simple. Okay. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Okay, now, the last thing we want to do is punch out those two support rods. So let's get, whoops, do we save? Save as 121 base. And now we can delete all these old base parts. Okay. Delete, 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 and delete. Now, we want the support rods let's see, turn on Boolean function, and now that is going right into the cups, but that hole is exactly the same size as the support rods, which is 1/4 inch, so we want to enlarge that a little bit. I think it's 0.26, which is just about 1/4 inch. So let's enlarge that. Let's inflate. Let's call these, let's see how it looks. Inflate by 5. Yeah, that should be okay. So let's rename that supports times 5, just so I remember in case I got to come back in and make new holes. I probably have to make new cups as well. But let's think positive. So make Boolean mesh, and I will get my new base, and that's it. That's all she wrote. So you got the base, the right wing, the left wing, the legs, and the torso. 5 pieces. The support rods go in the garbage because we're not going to print support rods. We're actually using acrylic rods from Amazon. All right, guys, thank you again. This is the end of chapter 11, and the next time you see me in chapter 12, I may do a chapter. Let's do chapter 12 where we prepare the files for print. I'm going to decimate each part down so they're not millions and millions of points. But after that, I'm going to bring them into the slicing software, the printer software. It's called Chitterbox, and I will show you the process where we slice it and angle it on the build plate, etc. Okay, so let's append my base with the holes in it. Let's go on the support rods, Z back, so they should be thinner. There we go. I'm hoping that's a perfect circle because it's deceiving. It looks a little squished. And that happens sometimes. It gets away from you. But anyway, save as 122. The showdown with the Green Goblin. Okay. Let's see. Delete the base and delete the supports. Delete the old base. Delete the supports. Oh, I'm hoping that's just paint right there and not in the model. That little flex right there. Let's see. I think it is. I think it's just the bad topology is not accepting the color. It's bleeding. But I really should Dynamesh this, which I will. See all those triangles? We don't like that. So I probably will Dynamesh all of these parts before I decimate. Okay, there's my base. And once again, thank you for looking. And I'll see you in the next chapter. Okay, take it easy.